From the Sunshine State, this is Tampa Bay's Tan Talk.
Check. Welcome to Random Talk. I'm Jim Arnold, your collectaholic.
And I'm Dr. Paul Cox, chiropractor from Newport Richey.
Call in at 727-441-3000 to interject with us on our Random Talk. This week, as I collect, I've had a real fix this week, and because of my fix, because I'm a collectaholic, I'm still gonna do the $15. You call in at the 727-441-3000. I'm giving you $15. You go to my website. I saw the movie memorabilia, ancient mystery stuff in the world. And you get $15 off. You can buy something for $15 and get it for free, or apply the $15 towards something else. But I'm going to do something extra this week. You go on the WTAN website and go on our program summary. At the bottom of the page, you'll see the email there. Email that and put that I heard you on Tan Talk, and I'm going to give you for free Marilyn Monroe's will, a copy of Marilyn Monroe's will, death certificate, and autopsy. And the autopsy is really something, man.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. She really looks good in that autopsy, I'll tell you.
Did they cut her up like they do on CSI?
They go through the whole thing and do, because they didn't know they still don't know if she actually committed suicide, or there's theories that she was murdered, and because she was having an affair with the president, and there's theories that she could use that information to her advantage, and he took care of her, and so they really don't know if she committed suicide or was murdered. And but the autopsy is interesting to read, and death certificate and everything. The will, she really, kind of signifies her life. She was really a nobody. She came into Hollywood and really started doing everybody around town to get the fame. And
really, I mean,
she was a nobody. She was married to a military guy during World War II and sent him a Dear John letter while he was overseas. She came to Los Angeles, and Los Angeles or Hollywood has been a party central, and it's gone through phases even to today. It's like party central. They got clubs there. You go to these clubs.
I was just there.
And Paul's there, and he's doing a mosh pit off the stage, man. He's trying to get some tips from Jimmy Kimmel for us, right? Jimmy Kimmel's out there, and you guys are passing each other doing the mosh pit, right? Slapping five.
And Arsenio Hall. And
all those guys are out
Leno.
there. That's how they get up on TV. They do their comic act downtown.
I went there.
And
did a comedy.
They go, next thing you know, they got a show on TV. Jerry Seinfeld, all those guys. And but during that early era, it was like clubs, and they'd go to the clubs, and these guys would be playing like Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra, and everybody was partying. And then that kind of moved. The mob was there too; it was big. And then they moved. That kind of moved to Las Vegas when Las Vegas got to be a up and coming city. And then that left, and then the rock and roll scene happened.
Motley Crue.
Yeah, and those guys, and they used to have rumors that Led Zeppelin would come in and be a constant party, and they'd bang all these women, and they'd handcuff them to the bed for 2 days while they're out partying, and it was just a mess. And but anyway, Marilyn Monroe was hooking up with everybody and got a job, and she hooked up with this the very first you know who the burlesque queen of Las Vegas is? The very first, who started the whole thing in Las Vegas.
I have no idea.
She's called Lily St. Cyr. Lily St. Cyr. Okay, and she started the whole burlesque show. Well, she didn't start, but she was the significance. When you think of burlesque show, that's who you think of, and whoever got her to start her. And she met Marilyn Monroe in one of these clubs down there in Hollywood, and said, "You know what? You're a beautiful woman." Now Marilyn Monroe had red hair. And she said, "You know what you got to do," and she taught her how to do the blonde look. And that blonde look, she looks just like this Lily St. Cyr. If you look at pictures of this Lily St. Cyr, she looks just like her. And that's where the blonde comes out. And then she started getting a little more attention, got into some films. That dumb blonde that she plays in the films worked. And, she's a hit and got to be friends with the right people. I mean, Arthur Miller, and then she married, and then she was having an affair with the president.
Joe DiMaggio.
Well, she was only married to Joe DiMaggio for 2 months.
And then she died?
No, she got divorced.
Oh,
she was married 7 times.
I think he really loved her, though.
Oh, he did, because he would always show up at, like a puppy dog or something, And even Arthur Miller, she divorced him, and he stayed friends with her whole life. But, there was rumors that Bobby Kennedy was doing her, and, and then some of the bouncers were doing her, and she was a mess. But, so she probably did commit suicide. But I think it was Joe DiMaggio always said that the president had something to do with it. But anyway, you go to the site, and you're going to click on the email address there, which is realart at kingego.com, and I'm going to send you her will and her autopsy and her death certificate, and you can study it and create your own conspiracy theory, and then you can call in here next week and discuss it with us. And, if you're a good boy or girl, maybe I'll send you President Kennedy's will and autopsy and death certificate. Now that would be something. I got an autopsy for President Kennedy. Now the funny thing is they didn't do an autopsy on President Kennedy. So how is there one in existence?
I have no idea. How did you get it?
Well, after he was shot,
there's
real? One there. Yeah, there's one there. And by law, these doctors have to do an autopsy. And
are you sure?
Yes. He got shot. They took him to the hospital, and right away they took his body, put him on a plane, and got him out of there. And they didn't. And the will was issued, or the autopsy was done there, and it came from Dallas, the hospital there, and the death certificate came from Dallas, but they didn't do an autopsy. They just did it. If you look at the autopsy, it's very basic, and I actually have that, and that's what fuels some of the conspiracy theories with him, is because the autopsy is like a fake autopsy. So they didn't really tell you, where the bullet hit and everything. They always make the case that, they're not being honest or anything like that. Anyway, why does this, why I'm getting my fix today? Well, in the news, Disney, or J.J. Abrams, confirmed that Star Wars Episode 7 is, he's finished the script. They're going to start filming in May, and it's going to be out in, I think, December 2015. And, Star Wars is in my top 5. Of course, I said to some kid that I was at the Super Bowl party, we were talking about movies, and I think his favorite movie was Car Wash. I'm going to do the car wash. And, that just gives you, and I said, Star Wars was, of course, everybody's heard of Star Wars, but I said, there's one movie that wasn't made from, because he was talking about the books are always better than the movies. And I said, what's the movie that wasn't better than the book? The movie's better than the book. and that's Planet of the Apes. And do you remember Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston?
No question about it.
And he said, "What's Planet of the Apes?" He said he's never seen that.
Oh,
I said,
my
how come? What's going on with the youth today? That's the problem. We got a problem with the youth today, and they don't see movies like Planet of the Apes, and of course there's a sequel to Planet of the Apes, the last one that came out. I think it was a couple years ago, and that's due out here in a couple months.
I just saw the preview.
Did you?
I went and saw Shadow Recruit, the Clancy thing with Jack Ryan.
What did you think of that movie?
It was better than TV, and
but
did you
think that was pretty good?
I liked it. Yeah.
I mean, I thought the technology, the electronics and everything was good, and I just I don't know, it was good. There was a lot of action and everything. I liked the Russian guys. I thought he did a great job acting and everything, and I thought the girl did a good job acting. And the guy that played Jack Ryan, though, just didn't do it for me. I don't know.
I liked him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Star Wars too,
Right. Well, do you like him better than Harrison Ford playing
Star
that?
Trek? He was in Star Trek.
Right, he was in Star Trek. Did you like him better than Harrison Ford playing that part? Because Harrison Ford played Jack Ryan in 3 films.
You love Harrison Ford, that's
so.
The deal.
So I'm biased.
I thought it was
here
right.
I preach. Here I always preach that I'm unbiased, but I guess I'm biased.
Yeah, because he did pretty good. I can't remember what his name is. Chris Pine.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is.
Chris Pine. Yeah,
it was a good movie. I just, I hate to spend. It costs you like $30 once you buy popcorn and everything to go to a show. I hate to spend that kind of money. And if the movie's
$750 and $750.
Where the hell did you see this, at the Old Timers?
No, I saw it on Hollywood 18, and all you have to do is pull out your AARP card, and you get everything for $750.
Really?
Small Coke, small popcorn, and a ticket. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to do that. And you're not going during the day and seeing the matinee or anything?
No. This is at night.
Wow, I'm going to have to check that. See, because that's what gets me, is paying all that money to go see a movie and then being disappointed by it. Now, I actually have you seen Lone Survivor?
I'm going to see that. I saw the 60-minute rendition of everything that happened.
Right.
And it's just so sad to me that
I'll be honest with you. I wanted to see this. Now, my son and me used to go see movies all the time, and since he's moved to Miami, I'm having a hard time getting out. Our buddy is always telling me, give him a call to go see movies. However, when I give him a call, he never answers his phone. So I decided on either it was Friday or Saturday night, I'm going to go see a movie. So I went down and I saw Lone Survivor, and then I came out and went back in and saw Jack Ryan. Lone Survivor, lot of action.
Right.
The scenery, I don't know where that was filmed. Certainly they didn't go back into Afghanistan and film that, but wherever they filmed that, the scenery was really something. When you see that, I mean, the scenery was really something. And but I thought the storyline lacked a little. I mean, it was basically while they're showing the opening credits, these guys are working out. So it's showing the SEALs are special guys. Well, we knew that going in. And then it gives you a little personality for 5 minutes of each one of these guys are living in like plywood rooms in Afghanistan.
Right.
And then they go on the mission. And then the mission fails. The mission's compromised and it fails. And so he fights his way back. And actually, it's the Afghan. He makes it back, and he's found by some guys from Afghanistan city, or actually it's like a small city state, and they take care of him, and then so they actually save him, and then the force comes in and saves them. And it's like, okay, that's it. But the thing that really gets you in this movie, at the end of the movie, they show a slideshow of the real guys and their families. I'm not kidding you. I started crying. You know, when you think of what our guys over there, and then you've seen pictures of these wounded warriors, and they're wearing those. You hear that. What's that country singer that has that song? And he on that commercial for these wounded warriors, and they're running with no legs, and I mean, it's sad as hell. They were. I mean, you have a son, I have a son. If they went over there and they got their legs blown off, and they come back, and you think, for what? We're not going to make a difference over there.
Well, these things happen for a reason, and sometimes it really changes the person quite a bit. I mean, there's no question it changes them, but
well, I guess the guy that's going over there, no question, it changes him. But I don't know if I want to get my legs blown off and come back.
I had my dad was career Army, and
was he?
One of his best friends got his arm amputated in Vietnam, and he was an avid fisherman and outdoorsman, and he lived a great life, and he was able to adapt. And
really?
Adaptation's everything for these people, and the main thing is for us not to just put them in the back of our mind. They should always be at the forefront of everything for us.
Yeah, I agree. And I got a friend, and their son came back from he was in Iraq. And he's all messed up. He's tried to kill himself twice, and the mother just does not know what. She keeps calling me and wanting me to talk to the kid. You just don't know what to do here. I try to, because I'm a motivational speaker, and so I give the kid motivation. He's motivated, but it goes away in a couple of days because they go back to what he saw over there, and he just can't get past that. And I don't, you wonder how many years of therapy is this kid going to take till he figures out that, it's over and he needs to move on.
Well, the post-war stress is everything. I mean, my dad had it his whole life, and he was nervous. He was a nervous wreck his whole life, and hooked on Valium because that's the only thing that could calm him down.
Really?
And I now they have much worse drugs a lot stronger drugs to compensate for this, but the emotional issues are they are so strong when you go through an event like this that I don't know how we're going to pay for all of this because
it's gotten the country in a mess. The country is the country's pushing $18 trillion deficit here, and
I would just like
a lot of that is the war. Now it's really everything across the board, but a lot of that is the war. We've had 14 years of fighting a war over there, and it costs a lot of money to do that. And of course I was all for going in because these guys bombed us. We need to go over there and take them out. And but not for 14 years.
The debt 10 years ago was only $10 trillion a year.
Well, it's definitely, and on top of that, we got the economy goes down, and this is what I don't understand. I'm no economist or anything else, but I don't understand when the economy goes down. That means when you need to tighten your belt a little bit.
Here's what I don't understand. They just passed the farm bill this week, right?
Right.
That's $1 billion over 10 years. Or, no, $1 billion over 4 years, because they only vote on it every 4 years.
Right.
And we're paying farmers not to grow food. No, don't grow tobacco. Don't grow food. Why? And I just saw the figure, I don't remember what it was, on how many hungry people we have. John Morgan.
Right.
Is doing the John Morgan hunger relief, and he's talking about the hundreds of thousands of people that are hungry just in the mid-Florida area. He established a food bank to where he distributes the food to the food banks. He doesn't feed anybody there. And he's got thousands of people that work for him that does this. This guy's, he's
right. But you got the farm bill. They do that so that they keep the prices of food high, and they also, you got to remember, Monsanto, who's like the monopoly of farmers, probably is lobbying a lot of our politicians, and that's how this stuff happens. My thing is that here's basic economics. The economy's down. Okay, now the first 4 years of Bush, there was a surplus at that point. There wasn't even a deficit. And the last 4 years, he started spending a lot of money. Like he started swinging to the left a little bit. But now it's out of control. We're at $18 trillion. And, okay, this tells me when my bill when my debt starts rolling up, I start tightening my belt a little bit. Okay, we were helping a lot of these people, but now we got to tighten this up, and I think they need to do like an across-the-board cut, like military. That's not going to, we cut the military, some of the military budget, cut some of the welfare stuff, cut some of the Medicare stuff that they give away for free to, that they're helping people. And, nobody wants to do this. Nobody wants to hurt anybody, but you know what? We don't have the money right now. So we need to cut back some of this stuff. Now, there's just, we've gone over, I had that list of the year of all the money they spent on all these weirdo projects. They should be getting rid of all of those, but we know that's not going to happen. And the biggest thing to cut is these, like Social Security, is Medicare, welfare. That's where the money's at. Military. So let's go in there, cut this across the board. We got to get this debt down. And then, when the economy comes back, and they stop some of this regulation. Let's face it. O'Reilly, before the Super Bowl, asked Obama, so the pipeline is a bust, it's a go through, right? He didn't ask him on TV, but last night he released that he asked him about the pipeline up in North Dakota. Yeah. And he said, so you're going to, it's the longest regulated pipeline in existence. It's 10 years in the coming, or 6 or 7 years in the coming here. And they've done all the environmental checks. It's 95% okay that having the pipeline is better than having it go by train.
Well, you see all the trains blowing up.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to send it by train if they don't send it by pipeline. And so he asked Obama, and he says, so the pipeline is a go, right? And Obama starts laughing, and he says, well, we got to have all the EPA, blah, 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 all these different organizations, they got to approve it. Well, tells me this is another 10 years out here. Come on, there's jobs out there that can be opened up. And not only that, that helps us get to independence from oil, where we don't have to buy it from overseas. And it's this regulation of government, and they put these regulations. I had, for me, I had air conditioning put in one of my commercial buildings, and they got to get permits, and you got to get permits from this. Yes, we want it done right, but I think they go a little overboard with some of this stuff, and it creates a hassle for new businesses, and people need to understand it's the businesses of the world that hire people, not the people that aren't working. Nobody wants anybody to starve. I mean, you, me, nobody. And there's always a lot of people scamming the system on both sides of the tracks, on the poor and the rich. There's people scamming. You can't do anything about that. But you know what? they need to do something to get this going, and I don't know why they need to cut out some of this regulation thing here. Call in at 727-441-3000. We want to hear from you. Remember, if you go to our page on WTAN and the summary at the bottom of the page, email us, and you'll get a free, give us your name and that you heard us on WTAN, and you get a free Marilyn Monroe will and death certificate. And if you're good, maybe you'll get President Kennedy. And plus, if you go to the website at realart.net, you'll get, and purchase something, you get a free, if you call in, you'll get a free $15 gift certificate. Just to finish up that Star Wars, since that is my fix today. And they also said that they're going to have the Magical Trio is going to be in the first episode. We're going to have Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and Harrison Ford will be in that episode 7. And Carrie Fisher said she can't wait to wear her cinnamon buns again. And she said she may wear them before the filming starts just to get a high.
They don't look the same. I mean, I've seen all of these people. I just
met Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill about 6 months ago at a Comic-Con, and Carrie Fisher is a super nice lady. I mean, she actually sat there and talked to us for, we're waiting in line to go in this thing to get this stuff signed, and she sat there and would just sit there and talk to you for as long as you wanted. Meanwhile, there's 15,000 people that paid $150 to come in there and have her sign. Mark Hamill, he's like shoving you through. His kid's running around. His kid's in the back running around, and he's like, he only signs force yourself on the thing, and just crazy. And she said she wanted to wear her old cinnamon buns. And, ironically, George Lucas had his input in this, but was ultimately overruled by Abrams and Kasdan, who work for Disney, because, now Disney owns the thing. Now, guess who's going to be the rebel leader? You'll never guess this.
The rebel leader. Let's see, who's bad enough? Samuel Jackson, somebody.
Well, remember,
like
the rebel leader is not Darth Vader,
right?
It's not the evil Empire. It's they're the good guys. Really, they're trying to take over the evil Empire. They're like us taking over the government or something.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, my other collectible that I do is James Bond. So the leader is going to be Judi Dench.
Oh, holy smokes.
Who played M on James Bond for several years here.
Yep.
Now the problem is she can't read her script, so somebody has to do an audio book of the script so that she can listen to it, because she's how old she is.
How old?
79 years old. That sounds like a joke. How old is she? It's like the old Carson McMahon thing. Yeah. How old is she? But no, she's 79 years old. I can't imagine still acting in films at 79 years old,
Hey, it's life. That's her life, She's great. She was just she was just nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
For this, I don't even remember what the name of the movie is she's in, but
she's been on some TV movies that were happening. Now now you should have known this because you were just out in Hollywood here, and you met with Jimmy Kimmel and was trying to get some material for our show here. And celebrate. This is how I got the whole thing. I didn't even know this was happening, but I was watching Jimmy Kimmel the other night, and guess who rode out on the show?
Who was it?
Darth Vader on a unicycle, playing a bagpipe.
What is that about?
Well, they were announcing the new Star Wars, and this guy rode out on Jimmy Kimmel Live playing the Star Wars theme on a bagpipe and riding a unicycle.
Holy smokes.
Now, as I'm a collector of Star Wars, some of the most expensive Star Wars items we got. There's, most people don't realize how expensive these action figures are, but the original action figure from 1977 recently sold of a Jawa, which is those little guys.
Yeah.
And this is a rare figure. There's only 10 are known to exist, with a vinyl cape sold for $16,000.
How much did that cost originally?
$1.
Back in the 70s?
1977, right.
Wow.
And, of course, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber went for $240,000.
That was pretty cool, though.
And that actually came from Gary Kurtz, who was a producer for the film. Because, George Lucas only directed one film, and that was the original one. He wrote the whole movie, but he only directed the first film. And he also recently, and all this stuff about Star Wars is coming out because of the film coming out. But the collector who I'm familiar with, and I've actually visited this place, he's certified now, Rancho Obi-Wan. Now, I have a Club Obi-Wan bar, but this is Rancho Obi-Wan. He's got 300,000 artifacts from Star Wars.
It has to take a warehouse to hold all that stuff.
Yeah, he's
How big? Is he like Jay Leno and his cars?
I don't have the I don't have the square footage that it's in, but it's in a warehouse like one of those metal warehouses like mine. He's got 300,000 artifacts, and he's officially certified now by Guinness, and it's in Petaluma. Petaluma. Well, you're the one that goes out there all the time.
I love California. I just can't work there.
I love it too, man. I used to live in San Rafael when I was a kid. And he says that they asked him how he compares his archives with George Lucas on all it, and he goes, he says, I got stuff he doesn't have.
Well, didn't he used to work on Star Wars?
No. This is just a guy like me that's like
collected.
Yeah, we're out of control, and we're just collecting stuff out of control and accumulating it over the years. We're doing our job. I don't know what the hell. This guy's a proctologist or something, and then on his way home he stops at the stores and gets some Star Wars stuff.
I have a friend, Jerry and Robin, and they wear Star Wars pajamas every night.
Really?
So there are a lot of collectible Star Wars collectible people.
Are they
out
footies?
There. I don't know if they have footies in them. I don't know. He was just telling me.
Do they look like Chewbacca? Jerry goes in. He's the Chewbacca, right?
Yeah, he's not moving too good.
And Robin has the cinnamon buns. Now, also in the news here, I had to go to jury duty the other day, which was a killer.
How many people were at jury duty?
300 people were at this jury duty thing. And they tell you, okay, check in on Friday before and see if you have to go. I was number 153. I look online. Yes, I got to go. So, I got to get up to come to this show. And I get up at noon anyway. So I have to get up at 6 in the morning to go to jury duty. And I go out there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll get there ahead of time, and I'll go sit down. And I get there. They don't even let you inside the court building until like 7:30. And all these people are standing outside. Good thing it wasn't raining. And there's no place to sit out there. They ask you to come out there and be there ahead of time, but there's no place to sit. So there's people, and everybody that's there looks like a vagrant. I had blue jeans on and a dress shirt, and I was the best dressed person there. And I was worried that you had to wear a suit or something, because I think of that old movie with Jack Lemmon, and Lee J. Cobb with the one man out when they're trying to convict some guy.
How would you like all of those people to really have controlling interest in your future if you're in trouble?
Well, it started. It was a real adventure, because we went in and then you had to take everything out of you. I felt like I was going on an airplane someplace because I had to take everything out and put it in. They give you a big lecture about what you can bring in, what you can't, and then you check in. You got to fill in all your information, and the woman, you go to a woman and she asks you, about did where I work pay me today. And I'm like, what are you talking? She said, well, you can get paid. And I said, well, yeah, why shouldn't I get paid? And she said, well, is your boss okay with, and she said, well, I'm the boss, so I guess I'm okay. Can I get paid for more than one company? Because I actually own 7 companies. So, and I said, you know what? Keep the money. The government, let them use the money to buy donuts or something in here. And the funny thing is, with me, is I go in here, the people talking, the what is his name? The Crowley, the guy,
Brian Corley.
Yeah, the voting guy.
Yeah,
he comes in, gives a lecture about these people aren't registered to vote, and wants you to register, right? Well, I know him. So he's like looking at me, waiting for me to give him a smart ass comment or something. And then Paula O'Neill comes in and starts talking to all these people. And they got Dade City on the other camera. And she, of course, we're friends. And I said, hey, she says, are there any suggestions? And I said, is there any donuts? Where's the donuts at? And she's like, Jimmy, shut up.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they show a short film of all the judges, and of I think there's 8 judges. I know 4 of them. And I get called into this room, and this one judge that's a friend of mine is in the, he's the judge. So they call 20 of the guys up, and they go through all these questions and everything. And, I mean, the first, there's 2 cases. And the first, the guy was battery. It looks like a kid that's 24, and I mean, he must have gotten a fist fight or something. I don't know. And the defender and prosecutor look like they just got out of school. They look like their clothes look like crap. I think I was better dressed than them, and I had blue jeans and a dress shirt on, and they had a suit on. And they go through all these questions and all this. Well, then on the second thing, it was a woman that had a DUI, and she looked like crap. And they called my name, so I go up and they start questioning me. Well, in between, they had a break in between. So my buddy's up there; he's the judge. So I walk up there and I said, "Hey, are you going to give me a tour?" And the cop comes up. I thought he was going to slam me on the wall because he thought I was
going to accost the judge.
Now, Marcia says, what the hell were you thinking? He said, because I walked through that, once you go through that line where the attorneys are.
Yeah.
And so this cop comes up. Now, he was friendly enough. And so the Mark, who was the judge, started laughing, and he says, "No, not today." And then he opens the door and goes back there. What the hell did they do back there anyway? They got their room set up with some people from the Super Bowl down here to take care of them.
I have no idea what goes on.
But anyway, so we go through there, and I got out of there, but it ruined my whole day. I came home and took a nap. I didn't wake up till like 10 o'clock at night. So... but the one thing I learned there is because everybody in the news now is marijuana in the news because Colorado and Washington have opened up to it's legal to smoke, and now Colorado you can buy it everywhere. The first week they made $5 billion in sales, and the Boulder, Colorado is now the largest. They have more applicants that go from out of state to go to Boulder, Colorado College than any other college in the U.S. And then I got an article here that because I've been talking with some of my friends to get a license here in the state of Florida to grow this there's a group, and you can buy shares in this group. It's a company, actually. It's a corporation, and it's out of Las Vegas, where else? And these guys are buying. They were meeting, and they were buying. You can buy shares in this, and their stock is just going through the roof. And you can buy shares in this. And there's most of these people that are interviewed. They don't smoke pot. They're just in it for the ride. And the theory is, and I agree with this. I'm going to ask you if you agree with this, because it's going to go nationwide. But once it's legal, and the newness wears off, the stock's going to go down. And so you get in on the ground floor with the stock or whatever, and then once it gets up, you're going to get competition come in, and it's going to go down.
Did you know that tonight in Ybor City
is pot night?
There's a college class. There's a new college in Ybor that's all about medical marijuana tonight. They're having their first class tonight.
Really?
And it's in one of the old tobacco warehouses down in Ybor. And I thought that's what you were leading into, but tonight.
Well, I got another 5 pages here.
Oh, okay.
No.
I hope I didn't interrupt you.
No, where's it at?
It's at the tobacco warehouse down in Ybor. I don't know what city, but it's been announced all over the news, and it looks like it's going to be packed.
Oh, so what do they got, a magic bus from Newport Richie?
No. It's all independent.
Magic bus.
It's all like people that go to learn about this, and there's 3 books you have to read, and it tells you about the.
Now, are they
laws.
recommending that, because you're a chiropractor, and are they recommending that you push this stuff, or do you get stuff in the mail on this? Or
no, I don't get anything about it. We don't really push pharmacology or anything. We believe the body can heal itself, and it just has to be expressed. And if a joint is locked up,
so you guys don't do any like herbal remedies?
Yeah, there are some that do
creams.
I don't, but some chiropractors do have a lot of supplements and natural remedies and Asian, Chinese medicine. And let's face it, Chinese have been doing acupuncture for 5,000 years, and you still can't get that approved through your health insurance.
Oh, really? Well, I didn't know that, because acupuncture is pretty well known. That
gotta pay cash.
I remember having some of that acupuncture, and it would clear up your cold like that. Now but it's a funny thing you mentioned that thing down in that seminar down in Ybor, because that Brian Corley, when we were in the jury thing, he said that this coming vote in November, one of the things on the ballot is going to be marijuana, medical marijuana in Florida. So you'll be able to vote if you want medical marijuana in Florida. If it passes, the next step is like in Washington and Colorado and Rhode Island, I think, is the other state it's legal. And but and what comes after the medical marijuana?
What?
Well, you're supposed to guess, Paul. The crap gold pills.
Oh, no.
A lot of people, and you should know this, being a doctor, is they have a hard time going to the bathroom.
What does your poop look like after you take one of these pills?
You got these crap gold pills. Now they're kind of expensive, but I hear Medicare pays for them.
Come on, they don't pay for that.
They're $425 a piece, and if you think it may still stink, but you ingest a couple of these, and they're 24 karat capsules. I guess they got gold leaf in them or something, and your crap will look as handsome as a pile of stacked gold. Now you take this with an espresso.
Or Goldschlager.
Yeah, or Goldschlager. There you go. Goldschlager. Guten Abend. And you just down one of these down the tubes, and it transforms into a rich gold, luminous palace in your major organs, and all churning out, and it makes your crap sparkle.
I don't even understand it. I can understand silver. Silver has a lot of
They got
health
silver
benefits.
too, but that's $3.99 a pill.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
and if you want, you'll save yourself $50 or something. But now, what do you do with this when you're done with it? You just flush it down the toilet. So
that's what I would expect.
You got a black toilet, you start getting a gold ring on the bottom. I mean, I have a black toilet, so.
While we're on this subject,
What, you got to go to the bathroom and you want to use what do we
no,
call it?
I'm just thinking.
You have to use one
how
of those
much
crotchety potties or whatever. What was that thing that Larry brought?
Squatty potty.
Squatty potty.
Yeah.
You do this because you have a hard time shooting that gold out and it splatters all over the place.
Look, how have you ever thought about how many pounds of poop we do each year? Do you have an idea?
I have no idea.
Well,
But
it's
you're
over
the medical. You're the
It's
medical
over 400 pounds. Every year you poop over 400 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what, 2 pounds a day? Something like that?
No, it's 365 days.
Oh, right. So that's
it's
about a pound and a quarter a day.
Yeah. Yeah, pound and a quarter a day.
So 410 pounds of poop a year.
I didn't say exact, but 410 sounds right, but it's in that area.
Depending on
It's a
your
low 400s.
chemical makeup. Some of us who have a bipolar or something may do a little bit more, especially when you're using that squatty potty, right?
Yeah, it really cleans you out.
And you know
They should be paying us for this.
and you know what really helps? You know what really helps to get the thing rolling?
Oh, jeez, what?
Well, you have pizza, man. You call pizza. In fact, where's our pizza at? We ordered one to eat here while we're eating here. And now there's for the Star Wars rollout, there's a tactical laser gun that looks like Han Solo's pistol. And you put it on the pizza, and you can cut your pieces of pizza with it. And you can get this at Think Geek, and it's I think it's a couple $100 though.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Jim. There's something wrong with this story here because, look, the laser systems that we have, the light projectors and stuff like that, you can't look into it. They're very dangerous, How can they just let people buy this?
It's got the wheel on it, but you press the button like the trigger.
Yeah.
And it shoots a light on
it guides you. It's a guidance
yeah,
system.
it's like a saw,
I got you.
It turns the light on. Now of course, the big thing at the Super Bowl was all the prostitutes up there.
I didn't think we were going to talk about the Super Bowl today.
Well, I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the real game, where all the Hollywood people were. They interviewed some of these guys, and these guys are going,
Right.
who cares about it? They interviewed this one girl, and what's the team in Denver? You mean the Coyotes?
Yeah.
They didn't even have a clue what was going on, and all the prostitution and everything. Well, somebody, I read up on one of the blogs here. You can get a luxury, everybody's trying to get off their bucket list. We're here trying to get this off our bucket list. Everybody wants to do the luxury Mile High Club, join the Mile High Club. Well, I saw an ad here for you can get your luxury Mile High experience. Now, you get a Learjet. And you go over in England. This takes off from Farnborough in England. And on the day of your appointment for your erotic event, you get on this Learjet, and they got a beautiful bed with champagne and strawberries, chocolate-covered strawberry, all that stuff. You go on there with your mate, and you go up to a certain height. And when the seatbelt thing comes off, you do your Mile High experience in any way you want. This costs $8,000. Now, my thing would be is to do, because I'm a movie buff, is to my Mile High partner. I would definitely get the Tron outfit to go on this, partner. She would be wearing this. There's a Tron outfit that you can buy. It's a gem bodysuit, and it stretches, and it looks like in the you saw that movie Tron with the Jeff Bridges.
Was that Scarlett Johansson in that?
I don't remember who it was, but not the old version, the new version.
Yeah, I saw
the old version. He was normal, but the new version, he just replayed his Big Lebowski character in there. He came out in his bathrobe, and the sun comes in, and he's just like hanging out in nowhere. He's the nowhere man, like that Beatles song, and he's hanging out with all the women in there, that in these suits that are plastic. And they've got neon coming off of them. Well, this suit you put on your mate that you're going up in the Mile High Club, and so you go off, and she's wearing this, and it flexes and it shines. So you turn the lights off, and she's glowing in this thing and moving around. And depending who your mate is, and you can do your Mile High experience. Well, the guy had so many orders from after the Super Bowl, and they were doing it over the Super Bowl, and he almost hit one of the jets during the Super Bowl because one guy wanted to get his bucket list, but the bucket list, I wanted to do my Mile High thing, and he brought 2 girls with him, but he wanted to fly over the Super Bowl while it was happening, and he flew over, and it was when the military jets are coming over.
Oh boy, I didn't hear about that.
And he was almost thinking about, I'm going to jump out and parachute onto the Super Bowl while this was going on. So he decided to maybe he ought to postpone that a little bit. And and then one of the people that he brought with him on that, they had their baby that they had to bring with them, and he couldn't figure out what this woman had. The baby had a thing over its face. It looked like a Hannibal Lecter mask. And he said, "What's this?" And she said, "It's the baby muzzle." And he said, "The baby muzzle?" And she said, "Well, yeah, that way, if we're having our experience here in the dark and the baby starts crying, we won't hear it because the muzzle will cause it, it can still breathe and everything." Now this thing is selling pretty well over in Japan. It's like $300
for babies.
Yeah, and it looks like a Hannibal Lecter mask. And
oh my gosh.
And but the anyway, call in here at 727-44 what is it 441-3000.
That's right.
And we'd love to have you interject in our conversation. Call into the station. We'll give you a $15 gift certificate to go on the site and get something for free. Go to the website, our WTAN website at the bottom of our page that explains our summary, and email us, and we'll give you a free Marilyn Monroe gift certificate. Or not gift certificate, Marilyn Monroe gift certificate, a will death certificate.
Yes, you got that right.
And, with everybody that goes on that Mile High Club, the guy, what they give you when you get off? A bug assault exterminating shotgun. And you can take that home with you, and it looks like one of these rifles that you shoot, these water gun rifles.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's an exterminating shotgun, and you put it looks like a shotgun shell, but it's salt, and it's for shooting bugs and stuff in your house. So, if you're sitting there on the couch and you see a palmetto bug, you can just go boom, and you can hit it.
No way.
Yeah. And normally, that thing's like $150, but they give you it for free
Jim, we're really
stretching it today, right?
From? What's the thought of the day?
The thought of the day? Oh.
Yeah.
The date. Well, this day in history, Patty Hearst was kidnapped. Did you know that?
Oh, I remember that.
Randolph Hearst, she was kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation Army. The funny thing is they caught her. She robbed a couple banks. They caught her and sentenced her to 21 years in jail. And President Carter.
Are you sure it was Carter or Clinton?
It was Carter that let her go.
Are you sure it was Carter?
Yes,
I thought it was
Carter.
Clinton.
Carter commuted her sentence, and Clinton gave her a pardon.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
it. Yeah, I got you.
Now, the word of the day is refulgence, a radiant or resplendent quality or state, brilliance. Example, the winning photo captured the refulgence of a full moon on a clear autumn night. It comes from the Latin refulgia, and reflected luster or splendid. And remember, this thing that's gone viral on YouTube is to eat. People are starting to eat bananas through pantyhose.
No way.
Yeah, that's making a comeback. They're even selling little strips that you do, and it makes a comeback, and you wrap it around your head. It's like a mask, especially with all this cold weather they're having up north, because it covers their face. And then they carry a banana in their now. Some of the guys in the neighborhoods are using those chocolate covered bananas, and they're ramming it into their face. And it's gone viral on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, nobody knows why. And then also on YouTube, a woman is starting to make $9,400 a month eating food on a web. And
that's all she does.
That's all she does. People pay
food
to watch her eat. She really has a good way of eating it, though. She was popular up there at the Super Bowl. The thing is, you put your money in, and it lasts for a minute, and the window comes down on your hands while you're doing the keyboard.
Oh, thank you for not.
Hey, everybody! Thanks for joining us this week for the Lean Mean Talking Machine. And join us next week on Random Talk with Paul and Jim.
WTAN, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay. Listen,